Hey, it's Sri here. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through whether you should be applying the no contact rule during a separation with your husband. Now, before we dive in, I know that when you're going through a separation, it's just the most painful feeling that you can possibly imagine in your marriage because your whole life is just completely uprooted. And so, if you're in a place where you're in a really, really dark emotional space and you're not sure what to do and every day seems like such a struggle, then I'd love to be of service to you, and I want you to know that you're not alone. And if you are in a place where you're just needing some support and some guidance, then I'd love to be of service to you. So all you need to do is in the description section below, just click on that link which says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at that scheduled time just so I can learn a little bit more about where you're at and what you're going through, and then how I can help you on your journey to be able to really create the shifts that you're looking for, not only in your marriage but also in your life. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and click on that bell notification as well, so every week you get access to my latest videos that will teach you about how to overcome infidelity, how to heal from within and really awaken your goddess within, and then also learn a lot about male psychology, because a lot of the time marriages fall apart because we don't understand our partner at the deepest level. Now, the no contact rule is talked about a lot in marriage circles, and essentially what we're talking about here is that if your husband has separated, that you just completely stop communication with him, you just avoid it all, and you get focused on the things that you want to be focusing on and just completely leave him altogether, on the hope that he's going to suddenly feel this loss inside and then come running back to you. Now, this all seems very logical, because if he's the one that's wanted the separation and he's been away for a particular period of time, by distancing yourself and not communicating with him, there's the hope that he's going to feel that sense of loss, whether it be around the kids or whether it be around that family environment that you've established over the years and so on. It does make sense. However, when we take this approach, the issue is that we're effectively keeping the conditions exactly the same. So let's say he does come back to you. The chances are that you haven't done a lot of deep healing within yourself, and the chances are that he hasn't done a lot of deep healing on himself either. So you have these two individuals that come back into the same environment with no real changes as such. Now, when you have two parties that have basically not made any real big shifts on the inside and have just come together by virtue of no contact, because the conditions are exactly the same, they're going to eventually have the same problems all over again. And whether that's issues with communication, whether that's wounds from infidelity, whether that's just frustration within the home environment, whatever that is, those same conditions are going to be applied. So we're really not making any changes. We've just had a little bit of the separation, and then eventually that person has wanted to come back because they've felt a sense of void on the inside. But to me, that's not establishing the right foundations. We have to apply the right foundations in these situations, because otherwise what will happen is, even if he comes back, eventually he's going to part ways with you at some point. Or you're going to get frustrated because that level of connection and that communication and love that you wanted, it's not really there. He just came back in that same environment, and often can bring up a lot more fear because you're worrying about that next moment where he's going to walk away as well. So what we really need to be doing here is taking an empowered approach. Taking an approach that's actually going to stand the test of time and ultimately allow you to have the greatest chance of being able to truly save your marriage over the long run, not just in the short term and you just get a few crumbs here and there. We really want to make sure it's a long-term approach. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk you through 3 steps that you want to take when it comes to communication when you're thinking about applying the no contact rule. Now, the first step that you need to take, you've got to ask yourself, how can you grow? Now, I know sometimes this can be a bit of a frustrating question, because when your world feels like it's been turned upside down, the last thing you want to be doing in that moment is thinking, well, how can I actually improve myself? Because he's probably wanted to leave, you're in survival mode, you're not really thinking about the things that you want to be working on within yourself, but it absolutely needs to be the thing that you need to work on. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying that you're the one to blame, that you're the one that's caused all the problems. All I'm saying is that both parties have created this marriage together. And so both parties need to take a level of ownership in terms of the things that they can do better and the way in which they can grow. And even if he's a narcissist or he's a serial cheater or whatever it may be, there are always areas in which you can grow as well. So if that means How can I find the courage to be able to step away from this environment? How can I find the courage to be able to speak my truth? How can I grow so that I'm looking at life from a lens of faith and not fear, or whatever it may be? We've always got opportunities to grow within ourselves, and it's so crucial. You see, I believe that life is often a reflection of what's going on the inside within us. So if we're living with a lot of fear on a regular basis, then we're obviously going to be experiencing a lot of that. We're going to attract those things into our lives. I want you to live in a place of joy and abundance and health and faith and trust and all of these beautiful emotions, because when you live in that place, life becomes so much more joyful. So we have to make sure that we're growing on the inside and become the best version of ourselves. And you'll often find that there are lots of areas of your life where you might be struggling in that you can improve in as well. And whether that's your work, whether that's your friendships, whether that's your health, whether that's a relationship, whatever it is, there's always areas that can be worked on and can continue to be worked on as well. So always make sure that you're continuing to grow and become the best you that you possibly can. Because when you do that, if he comes back, it means you're actually shaking things up a bit more. And the beauty is that when you work on you, and let's say he comes back, it means that you're showing up in a completely different way. It means you're giving yourself the best chance to be able to create this extraordinary marriage. And it's such a powerful thing when we can grow on the inside. And the second step that we need to take is we need to make sure that we detach from the outcome. And once again, that might seem like a really challenging idea, because your family is most likely the number one thing in your life. To just detach from it kind of implies on some level that you just don't really care, but it's actually the opposite. It means that you truly want an outcome, you truly desire it, but you trust that whatever the outcome is going to be, it's going to be the one that's for your highest good. We step more into faith rather than worrying about what could happen or what might happen. And if you just think about this from a logical perspective, what benefits are there in worrying about things in life? What benefits are there in terms of just thinking about all the worst case scenarios? It actually doesn't add any value. It's purely a primal instinct. A part of us that goes, oh my God, I'm so scared, I'm so worried, I'm going to lose that thing, so I need to make sure I protect myself. Now, that may have served human civilization, thousands of years ago when they're in the jungle and a saber-toothed tiger and so forth was coming at you. But in the modern day, when you're in this environment, it doesn't serve you, because it means that you make rash decisions, it means that you act from an irrational place, and it means that you're always living in fear and anxiety and stress, which not only has mental and emotional impacts, but also has massive impacts on the physical body as well. So we have to remember to live more in a place of detachment, which is to say that if you can trust that the right outcome is going to occur for the highest good of all concerned, then you can step away and know, you know what, I'm going to be okay. And for those of you watching who have strong religious beliefs, once again, this is about placing it in the hands of God and trusting that God will provide you with the outcome that you're looking for. And if you truly trust in God, you have to put it in His hand. You have to trust that the right outcome is going to occur. And when you place your faith in God, and you're actually knowing at the deepest level that it's all going to work out beautifully, you have nothing to worry about. You can step back and just trust. And then when your intuition says, okay, I need to take this action, or I need to take this action, you go with it and you do it. It's so important to take that approach. And I think a lot of people are struggling to live in that place of detachment, which once again is extremely hard, and I've found it very difficult over the years as well. But when you have moments of that, it is incredible how liberating it is. So live in a place of detachment as best as you can. Place it and surrender it to the universe or to God, and trust that the right outcome will occur for all parties. And the third important step to take in these situations is to make sure that there is purity of intention. See, as I said before, when it comes to no contact, the intention is I'm going to back off and I'm going to hope that he comes back because I'm going to step away from it. So it's almost like that separation is going to lead him to want me more. And in some ways it's a form of game playing, it's a form of manipulation. And we want to make sure that our intention is pure. We want to trust that inside, if there is a part of you that wants to reach out because you're coming from a place of love and you're just like, look, I just want to send them this message because I've been thinking about him and I just want to be authentic with my communication, that's okay. You know, if your intention is, look, I want to reach out to him because I care about him and I just want to make sure he's doing okay, to me that's coming from a place of love. And if you're coming from a place of love, you're always making the right decisions, period. Whereas if you're coming from fear and you're like, oh my goodness, should I reach out to him? I'm really scared, but I just feel like if I don't, then he's going to not want me as much anymore, and then that's going to lead us to a path where we're definitely going to divorce or whatever it may be. To me, that's just the wrong intention altogether. You've got to come from love. You've got to come from faith. And that's why to have the purity of intention and being authentic is so, so crucial. You know, I have many clients who, you know, tell me about how what they do is they'll reach out to their husband or you know, types of messages that resonated with them in the past and were unique to their experiences with their husband. And they often find that their husband reacts really, really beautifully. But in other examples, I find that when individuals are coming from that fear-based place and using some of these manipulation tactics, it ends up just falling flat on their face. And then in the long run, they pay the price. And I don't want that for you. Make sure that your intention is pure. Make sure your intention is authentic. Because when it's authentic and when it's pure, it means you're bringing your best self into the marriage and into the communication. And that's the best thing that you can possibly do. By putting your best self and your best foot forward, you give yourself the greatest chance of being able to save your marriage. But it means, most importantly, you're coming from the heart. And the heart will always lead you in the right place. Now, often it can be really challenging to sort of know what's the right thing to do here. What does coming from the heart mean? Am I coming from the heart or am I coming from the head? It can be very confusing sometimes. And that's why I just want to let you know that if you are in this place and you are living in a lot of confusion, you're uncertainty, and you're not sure what steps you need to take on your path right now, then that's why I've created my Authentic Relationship System training program, which is an amazing program that's created to help women to be able to have a step-by-step process to be able to save their marriage and to be able to become the best version of themselves, to truly heal on the inside, but to also go deep into male psychology. And when you can learn about male psychology and you can heal within, and then you learn the specific steps on communication and the actions that you need to take to be able to get your husband back, it's quite remarkable how quickly transformation can actually happen. And I think where most people struggle with it is that they lose faith in that. They don't think it's possible because the husband's left and he's like, look, I'm done. But I've seen countless examples of people who have said that they've been done, but have made an effort to come back as well. So transformation is real. And so if you are really wanting to maximize your chances of saving your marriage and creating the shifts that you're looking for, then all you need to do is just in the description section below, just click on that link which just says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at the scheduled time just so I can learn a little bit more about where you're at and where you want to get to and how I can serve you through my program as well. It's incredible. And if it is a great fit, then what I'll do is I'll let you know a little bit more about the details. If not, then I'll make sure to give you a couple of tips and tricks just to make sure that you're moving forward as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit the like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And let me know what your biggest takeaway is from this video as well. I always love hearing the comments and I'll make sure I respond to every single one of them. If you want to learn what to do when your husband leaves you, click this video above. And if you want to learn how my client Angie saved her marriage after infidelity, click this video above. Thank you so much and I'll talk to you in the next video.